Video game achievements. What are they good for? Not much, in all honesty. I mean, I guess there's those games that you've completed and you're looking for an excuse to keep playing with, but a vast majority of the time, achievements are just little boxes that annoyingly pop up in the corner during climactic moments. Well, after being inspired by Mataphobia's backlog slog, I wanted to give achievements a purpose. Content. Yes, you hear me right. For this series, I'll be attempting to complete one new achievement from every Steam game I own that, has achievements. And by attempting, I mean, well, successfully doing it. Because, you're watching the video. Well, mostly successful at least. Because you see, I own over 60 Steam games that have achievements. And that's a lot to fit into one video. So over the past few weeks, I've live streamed myself earning achievements from the first 20 of all of those games. That way, you have some motivation to subscribe and stick around for when I eventually finish this series. Got it? Alright, let's get started. Wreckfest is a realistic destruction driving game similar to BeamNG, but with more emphasis on the game part, since it's less of a toy box and more of an all-out racing simulator. On first inspection, the achievements seemed difficult. Not in the sense that they were particularly hard, but more because I'm not familiar with the game, so I was gonna have to figure out how to earn them. However, after fiddling with the graphics for a moment and launching the game, this happened. I don't think I'd want to upload it on YouTube since it's more of an inside joke with the people who I actually know. Achievement unlocked, highballer. Okay, damn. All right. What? What? Hang on a moment. Complete all career challenge. Sure. Why not? Why not stop? So naturally, I just quit right there because according to the guidelines for this series, I just completed a new achievement for this game. So we're good to move on. In fact, that footage at the start isn't even mine. It's from Nerd Cubed since I never got past the main menu to record any driving. Who's your daddy? Just saying that name out loud is giving me PTSD. You see, the achievements for Who's Your Daddy never actually seemed that difficult to earn. But after launching the game, I ran into a major speed bump. Two options. The classic 2015 version and the new 2020 version. Now, when I scanned over the achievements, I noticed that some of them had this classic tag applied to them. So that tag must correspond to the classic version, right? Well, I wasn't sure, because once you launch the 2020 version, there's a game mode called Classic as well. So this left us with the eternal debate. Does Classic correspond to the game version, or does it correspond to the game mode? Spoiler alert, it corresponds to the version, and I wasted a lot of time playing the 2020 game. Anyway, I first attempted to earn babies first by killing myself in a solo lobby. After drinking some gasoline and promptly dying, I was surprised to find that no achievement was earned. It was at this point where somebody in my chat offered me some assistance. I can show you the creative ways to kill yourself. Might need that for real life too. With this random chatter, I tried to complete numerous achievements, all with no success. I ran over them with a lawnmower, no achievement. I drank some whiskey and drove a baby car, no achievement. I eventually won as a daddy, but still no achievement. We tried another round, this time both as babies, and, well, it went about as well as you'd expect. There we go. Alright. Oh, you're an infant. I forgot about that. Game over, you win. After my failures in that custom lobby, I theorized that I had to be in a randomly match-made lobby for any achievements to count. I was obviously wrong, but it did give me an opportunity to question my life choices. What is this game? What is this game? What is this game? This is horrible. Finally, I booted up the 2015 version, started a split-screen game, but then concluded that since there was no lawnmower in the shed, I must be playing the wrong game. I tried another multiplayer game. It didn't go well. I tried another game with that person from my chat. It didn't go well. But then, only then, after all of that, I finally looked up a guide. With the ever-needed aid of a guide, I planned my new strategy. I was going to try and earn Daddy Belongs in the Kitchen by launching the 2015 version and continually playing the Cook All the Meat challenge until I've roasted up 25 meaty, juicy steaks. And well, after over 10 minutes of gruesome work in the kitchen, this finally happened. Achievement unlocked! Daddy Belongs in the Kitchen! Woo! I did it! Don't ask me how! I did it. I quit. I'm done. The worst part about it all? Daddy Belongs in the Kitchen became the rarest achievement I've earned on Steam, so it's now displayed front and center on my profile. My experience with What Remains of Edith Finch is somewhat limited, since I've only played through its linear story once for a review that I made a few months ago. But even then, I was surprised to see that I was missing the end of everything, since the parameters for that achievement is just to finish every story. And well, I definitely did that. Or so I thought, because once I got into the game, I noticed that I could select Odin to replay his story. But Odin didn't have a story, at least to my recollection. Well, as it turns out, I completely missed the camera flipbook that details Odin's story during my original playthrough. So because of this series, I discovered something about this amazing game that I wouldn't have found otherwise. And I earned an achievement because of it. Neat. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm not sure what this is or what it's doing in my library, but one of the achievements was just to successfully launch the game. So I did that. Viscera Cleanup Detail is a game where the goal is to clean up, well, blood and viscera from the scenes of horrible atrocities and accidents. Now, after purchasing Viscera Cleanup Detail, you're given 2 DLC maps for free, but they're annoyingly put into your Steam library as separate games, meaning I have to complete 3 achievements just from Viscera Cleanup Detail. The first game is subtitled Shadow Warrior, and it annoyingly only has 2 achievements. One was to perfectly clean the entire level, which is doable, but it would take fucking ages, and the other was to find $2 million and take it back with you to your office. I first assumed that the money would all be found in one place, but in reality it's scattered around the entire map in 22 wads of cash. I initially tried to find these wads with no outside help, and I actually got far closer than you'd expect. But in the end, I did have to seek the assistance of a YouTube tutorial in order to achieve my dreams and become a millionaire. Unlike Shadow Warrior, Santa's Rampage actually had a fair few achievements, most of which requiring me to take something home in the trunk, but one that only needed me to requisition a new replacement janitor through the use of TNT. So obviously, I hopped in the game, found some dynamite, lit the dynamite in the fire, and killed myself. Well, it's been nice knowing you all. Fantastic. Alright, I've earned the achievement. We can leave this now. This was the start of an unfortunate trend in this series, where numerous potential achievements simply asked me to commit suicide in unique ways. On first inspection, the easiest achievement for Viscera cleanup detail seemed to be getting fired, since I just had to track down the station to clock off without doing any cleaning first. However, only a few seconds into the game, and I stumbled across something that could also earn me an achievement. Gotta be around here some— oh, or I can get eaten. That is also an option. There we go, I've gotten eaten. Ooh, this is a very strange visual. Like I said before, killing yourself is a fantastic way to earn achievements. Tropico 5. My favorite Caribbean dictator city building simulator. Unfortunately, a majority of the achievements for Tropico 5 required me to play the game for a pretty long time, except for two. One was just to complete the tutorial, and the other was to construct 20 guard towers on my island. Now, multitasking is a common strategy in this series, because I don't want to spend ages working towards one achievement when there's an easier one that I can earn far faster. However, Tropico 5 is one of the few examples where multitasking was actually detrimental towards my efforts. You see, I was just casually working my way through the tutorial while some guard towers were being constructed in the background. But just when only 5 guard towers were left unfinished, this happened. Nice. No! Shit! Took me to a new tutorial. Oh, fuck. I completed all of the tutorial tasks in the first map, so it deleted my work and took me to the second map. So this time, I went speedrunner mode. Fuck the tutorial, fuck this guy in his pear-shaped face. I was building 20 guard towers as quickly as possible. Build, my little Caribbean slaves! Build faster! I think I'm taking this dictator thing a bit too far. Actually, no, I'm not, because I just earned the goddamn achievement! Transport Fever is a game about logistics networks. No, seriously, I'm not even joking. The easiest achievement was successfully assigning an electric train to a line. So I started a sandbox game and built a somewhat phallic-looking loop between Colorado Springs and West Covina. Don't question it that much. Anyway, I purchased the cheapest electric train, assigned it to the railroad Dick, and earned an achievement. I think this is the most self-explanatory title yet. So, Train Simulator is kinda insane because it gives you a new achievement for every little train and map you play with. This meant it was just a matter of starting a game in London, and watching a very, very janky cutscene. How the hell do I describe Toribash? Toribash is a turn-based fighting game where you individually control every muscle and joint on your character. No joke. My goal for Toribash was to complete the first tutorial for an achievement, and it went somewhat smoothly. My character started the introduction by completely insulting the sensei. But sensei, how would you know anything about fighting? You can barely walk on your own. Oh, wow, I'm being brutal to this guy. Then I got to watch a very intricate fight, which I would never be able to make because Jesus fucking Christ, that would be time consuming. And finally, we learned that the sensei is faking a disability. So is that why you're using a Stickmaster? Your leg, does it still hurt? Oh no, you're actually healed after every fight. It's just that I look more respectable with a stick. And then I got the achievement. What a strange, strange game. Terraria. Terraria? 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 I don't know. Anyways, this game has been updated multiple times since I last played it. So even though I've put over 60 hours in, they've recently added some new and relatively easy achievements to the game. Speaking of when I last played it, after booting up the game, I found an old save from 2019, which admittedly didn't have much other than an incomplete house, but my character did have some wood in my inventory that allowed me to... Like I was saying, it allowed me to craft a workbench and get the achievement. Okay, I have to preface this with some stuff before we get into TF2. So you may have noticed that 2 of the games I've played so far are free on Steam. Now the rules for this series are just that I have to play each game in my library, and at some point in the past I either played or just downloaded those games. So they're in my library, therefore I had to get an achievement. TF2 is the exception to this rule, since despite me playing it for 20 plus hours, it always removes itself from my library every time I delete it. So for this series, I just added it back. Got it? Alright. So Team Fortress 2 theoretically wasn't going to be that difficult since it had, you know, a couple achievements. However, I didn't want to spend a millennia scrolling through these looking for the easiest one, so I just settled for Sock It to Him, which required me to headshot an enemy demo man as a sniper. Little did I know how difficult this would be. After struggling with some loading screens and nearly deafening myself because the game volume was far too loud. Hey, there we go. Okay, fantastic. I finally got into a game. In this game, I was blessed with the fact that an enemy demo man named Alexa was repeatedly attacking our base right outside of the spawn. However, I was also cursed with the fact that both me and my team were dog shit at TF2. There were numerous instances where Alexa was in point blank range, but I still failed to hit that precious headshot. I was so desperate that I attempted to talk with Alexa over voice chat to try and explain my situation. But just when I got the opportunity, I forgot which button it was. Unfortunately, the round ended and I was put into a team with Alexa, meaning that I could no longer headshot them. However, after all hope was lost, this happened.
Are you ready? Go! Good, save the queen!
Alright. Demo man, you're not a demo man. Oh, but I killed him, and I got an achievement for it! Fuck no! Okay, I'm out! What? Wait. That wasn't even the achievement I was going for! Yes, you saw that right. Immediately after the round started, I shot a random-ass scout mid-air and earned a completely unrelated achievement, meaning I could move on. So, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else, I have some bad news. I lied at the start of this video. I claimed that I completed 20 different achievements for this series, but in reality, I only completed 19. You see, Tabletopia only has 2 achievements. One to support the game on Steam Early Access, and one to support the game on Kickstarter. Believe me when I say that I wanted to throw some money at this thing. I was prepared to shell out real-life cash for this dumb series on YouTube. But the Kickstarter ended, and the game is no longer in Early Access, meaning that it's impossible to earn any achievement from Tabletopia. Tabletopia devs, if you ever see this video, I beg of you, give me an opportunity to earn an achievement from your game. I am desperate and distraught over this whole affair. I don't know what you'd want me to do, but I promise I would be willing to do it. Thank you. SUPERHOT VR, aka the best VR game that I can't talk about, since if you tell someone you like SUPERHOT VR, they make some alternate assumptions about its material. Anyway, all of the achievements in SUPERHOT VR are actually secret, which meant that I had to look up a guide to find one to complete. Unfortunately, in my research, I learned that I had already earned a vast majority of the easy achievements for SUPERHOT VR, except for one. New perspective. Complete a level while lying on the floor. Well, this achievement was not easy. It was doable and quick, but it was the only achievement in this episode that was literally physically hard. Let me show you why. Hello, and welcome to my floor. Now, you most likely assume that it's actually easier for me to complete a game while lying on the ground than it would be to complete it while standing up. But there's a couple things you have to remember. For starters, I don't know how low to the ground I need to be to get the achievement. Also, I have a fucking box strapped to my face. I have some controllers as well. Now, to sit up, I don't want to be putting weight on those controllers. So I could, use my elbow or maybe my wrist, but I gotta play the goddamn game! So instead, the entire time I'm sitting there, like this, which is kinda difficult. Now, admittedly, right, I sail these little dinky boats called 420s, so sitting like this with my abs is something I'm familiar with, but when I'm trying to complete an achievement, play a game, and commentate all at the same time, this is exhausting. Despite the physical difficulties, I managed to earn it in one go, and it was by far the funniest attempt of that whole live stream. Lying on the floor. Oh, how the fuck? I'm on the floor. How am I meant to... there's more. No! Oh shit! Oh shit! I'm out of ammo. I'm out of ammo. I will use this as an opportunity to remind you that the 3 VODs from the streams where I attempted all of these achievements are linked in the description below. So if you want to see my unedited and raw efforts, you can do just that. Similar to SUPERHOT, all of the achievements in Subnautica Below Zero are secret. Additionally, there was another roadblock I hit with this game, because I'm currently doing a series on it on my second channel, and this meant I already accomplished most of the easy achievements, and the ones I didn't have required me to progress further in the story. And I obviously didn't want to do that for some random achievement hunting video on my main channel. So for Below Zero, I chose to complete Jukebox Hero, which only required me to construct a jukebox in one of my habitats. Now this would be easy, stupid easy in fact, on my save from the series, but that's for the series. I can't go and intrude on that for a side project. I had to make a new game. So I did just that. I made a new game, found my life pod, and started working towards fabricating a habitat constructor. But to do that, I had to find some fragments to scan first. I looked around my immediate area, no fragments. I adventured deep into the Twisty Bridges biome, no fragments. I also drowned, but let's ignore that. I went to an Altera supply cache, and there were no goddamn fragments. Finally, I googled a tutorial that informed me about the closest habitat builder fragment. It was 100 meters deep in the Twisty Bridges biome, buried in an area that I probably wouldn't be able to find since I didn't have a compass yet. So I cracked and did the unthinkable. I loaded up my save from the series, grabbed some titanium and some quartz. Scratch that last part. I hopped in my prawn suit, mined some quartz, grabbed said quartz, and constructed a beautiful, flawless jukebox. Subnautica. Another game I did a series on. Except this one I canceled after 11 episodes. This was alright though, since it meant that I could load up my old save without feeling dirty. So I did just that. I then decided to use my Cyclops in order to navigate my way to the deep Grand Reef, where I could find a Degassi habitat that would earn me an achievement called Sea Monsters. So after nearly destroying my big submarine and getting spooked by a giant squid... Alright, whoa, what are you? Ooh, I don't like you. I took my much smaller submarine out and found the Degassi habitat. Now I had a brief panic attack because nothing triggered the achievement to unlock, but fortunately I managed to find the PDA that I had to pick up less than a minute before my character was about to drown. Stardew Valley. A Harvest Moon-esque farming game that people claim is calming, but after spending some time in the mines, I really don't see it. I've gotten off topic. The achievement that seemed easiest to complete was to craft 15 unique items. So I loaded up an old save from 2017 and started scouring my farm for resources. I built a fence, a gate, some fertilizer too, a bomb, which makes a great big boom. Yeah, you can tell I'm not a musician. I crafted a few more items with the resources I found around my farm, and then for the last one, I took a trip down into the mines and slaughtered 2 bugs to make some fishing bait. This allowed me to earn the DIY achievement. Fun. Space Engineers. A game about, well, engineers in space. Okay, it's also about blowing stuff up, but we don't talk about that. The easiest achievement I found for Space Engineers was Personality Crisis, which required me to change my astronaut style 20 times in less than 10 minutes. It led to some truly invigorating gameplay. 13... 14, 15, but I got the achievement, and that's all that really matters. And lastly, we have Slime Rancher. Similar to some of my previous games, I loaded up an old save to make my life easier. What would I do without the Steam Cloud? Anyway, I took a tour around my ranch, and then gave a climactic speech because I knew the achievement would be very, very easy to accomplish. All I had to do was stand in that radiation aura for 15 seconds. As you'd imagine, I started to panic a bit, but as it turns out, I just had to exit the field for the achievement to trigger. And that's where I end off this fantastic video. Like I mentioned at the start, this is only part 1 of the series. So if you want to be notified when I continue it and upload part 2, please make sure to subscribe. Also, give this video a like if you think it's a good concept. Even though I'm only a third of the way through the challenge, this video took a lot of work. So a like shows me that you actually thought it was decent, so I'll make sure to get the next part out sooner. Alright, enough rambling. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye! Yep.